guys, thanks for clicking on my video. I am going to be doing this monochromatic look. This lipstick is one that I've been using a ton this month. I've been wearing it with different looks that I wasn't satisfied with, and this was what I was trying to get to. This monochromatic kind of foresty, brown, muddy kind of colors, and I think it's perfect for fall. It's super, like, pretty simple to recreate, and it only takes a few colors to get this look. So if you want to see how I do it, and if you want to see the step-by-step of how I achieve this makeup, then keep watching. Alright, so I'm going to start my skin now. I'm going to use the Embryolisse moisturizer. This is a moisturizer that I talk about all the time, I think, in every video, but I use it probably every single day unless my skin's super dry, which is not really often. It's not like a mattifying moisturizer, but it is for oily skin, so it doesn't get super oily throughout the day the way the other Embryolisse moisturizer would. I think I have to scooch in closer. So we're going to start with my eyes, and I think I just want to do like a very do I want to start with my eyes? I always end up starting with my face and then going back to the eyes of my face, so I'm just going to stick to that. I have not used this in a while. It's because I've been pretty tan lately, so I might have to mix a couple things. But this is the Elixir by CoverGirl. I really like this foundation. I think it's very beautiful. It's very dewy. It's very full coverage. The color I'm using is 755. I have not gotten a darker color for some reason, but I don't know, I just feel like I'm gonna get light soon anyway, so I don't want to have to go get another foundation. So I'm just gonna start with this. It does tend to dry a little bit deeper, so I'll just wait to see how it dries. Yeah, it's just such a pretty full coverage foundation. If you guys have never tried this, I think it's a really good one for girls who have oily skin but still want a dewy finish, or girls who have maybe acne prone skin but don't like the very matte finish that most foundations give you, because those tend to be geared towards girls who have really oily skin, so they definitely matte down foundations. But I think this foundation does a nice job of balancing the like the dewiness. See, I'm keeping it away from my forehead because I'm a little bit too light for this. I've been kind of slacking on tutorials lately. I'm not really sure why. I've been freelancing a ton at MAC, and you know, I love picking up shifts and staying busy, but when that happens, when I get really busy, I tend to kind of get distracted and forget about filming, or don't take extra time in the morning to like prepare my camera. So I'm gonna try to do that more often now that I'm saying this out loud into the world. It's drying down pretty perfect. I'm gonna add just a little bit of the Wet n Wild foundation in caramel on the very outer edge, because this is a little bit deeper. For some reason, I've actually tried to find this foundation for my sister. Not all Walgreens carries the darker colors. You just have to check on like certain communities that tend to have like darker girls, or maybe black girls or Latina girls in those neighborhoods. That's where you have to find these foundations, which kind of, it sucks, but not every store carries every single color. Damn, I love this foundation. It's so pretty. I'm just going to use a concealer to act as my primer. Normally I wouldn't do this, but every once in a while I'll just use a concealer and it works out pretty well. This particular concealer is a more dry formula, so it does kind of dry matte. Every time I get a girl who's looking for a concealer at the MAC store, and she's using it for like pimples on her face, I always recommend the Studio Finish because it does dry matte, and I think it's just like a better one for the skin, because you can just use your finger and you can dab it onto your pimple and you can use it for like maintaining that area. So I really like this particular one for that. I'm going to stick to monochromes today, so I'm going to use the Visart palette. This is the Neutral Matte. I love this palette. It's literally like one of my favorite palettes. I use it every single bride I do. I use this somehow, some way. And then I'm also going to use the Meet Matte palette. This is an old one. I know they have a new version of it, but it's just all mattes. I take Matte Smith and dust it all over my eyes. I'm going to just dust that all over my eyes with a fluffy brush. This is just going to set the concealer so that when you do add any other colors on top, they won't really like skip onto the concealer and they'll blend easier. This palette's broken, so that's why it's mine. I'm taking this color right here. The way I like remember these, I just say 1, 2, 3, 4. I like literally count them out, so I'm taking number 1. and I'm going to use that as my kind of transition color. Yeah, I just like to tell people, like, just throw down this color. It's going to make all your other colors that you put on top make sense, especially if you're using like a shimmery color on your eyelids. It's not a fun color to buy, but if you just buy like a matte palette, you're good. You could use bronzer on your eyes too, which I probably could have done. Actually, I do that most of the time. I use bronzer as my transition color. Alright, I'm taking this color next, and I'm gonna pretty much just take this into the crease. I'm gonna keep moving down more and more and more with every color that I build. But I'm not gonna add a shimmery color on this look. I feel like I do that a lot. So in Chicago, it's been 80 degrees, 95 degrees, something like the first day of fall was 95 degrees in Chicago, which is insane and very, very not like Chicago. And it's just crazy like how like I was at the beach on the first day of fall. So anyways, I think this week is like the first week where it's kind of getting cool again, and like it's comfortable to wear jeans and a long sleeve if you wanted to, but you can still wear a t-shirt. So I've been having a hard time like transitioning into like the fall vibes, and today is like finally a nice fall day. A lot of leaves have fallen, so it's turning into a fall like scenic view outside. Alright, the next color I'm taking is this guy. It's a really deep, almost purple-like brown, and I'm gonna put that and like buff it out before I start adding a deeper color. And I'm just gonna rub that all over the lid as well, but not like pack it on quite yet. It's kind of funny because like honestly, like most of my wardrobe is very fall appropriate. I wear pretty much black, white, olive, navy, and gray. That's all I wear. And I have like various white t-shirts, various black t-shirts, and like gray t-shirts. Some have prints on them, some don't, but for the most part that's pretty much all I wear. Like kind of keep it very minimal. And whenever it's fall, that's kind of when I start to feel, okay, finally my wardrobe makes sense. I don't really buy a lot of clothes, it's just not my thing, it's not fun for me. So I try to keep it minimal. Alright, I'm going to tap back into this color and just make sure that everything's looking really blended and seamless. And I'm still using the same brush. It's kind of how it goes on most days when I'm getting ready anyways. And now I'm going to pat onto my lid the color so it's a little bit deeper and richer while still blending it out. Because I want the eyelid to be a little bit darker, I'm taking a packing brush, and this one I got from MAC, but they do sell them from, I think it was Crown Brushes. Crown Brushes has an exact duplicate of this brush, and I bought several for my kit, so if you don't want to buy the one from MAC, they have it at Crown Brushes. So I'm going to use this to pack on the color. I like these brushes in particular for matte colors. I think they pack on the color really well. So I'm getting this super, super close to the lid and to the lash line. And if you notice, I'm putting on the eyeshadow with my eyes looking down. It's kind of stretching out the eye so that it doesn't get into any of the creases of your eyelid if you have like a really deep fold. So looking down as you do this will help kind of get into every little nook. And my mirror's like right here. See how much darker this one is compared to this one? It does help to do those first steps before you kind of pack on the color, because now it's all blown out and half the work is already done for you. Alright, I'm going to take my first brush that I used and dip it into that first color I used and just like buff the F out of this edge just to make sure nothing got too carried away, which happens. I kind of didn't even need this palette, so forget I even use this. Alright, I'm using the Wet n Wild concealer. This one is in the color Medium Tawny, and I'm going to take some of that underneath my eyes. It's so funny, I like love this concealer so much, but I never use it because I don't want to run out of it, and it's $4. Like, I can afford to use it, Susie. Such a good concealer. foundation and concealer has to be my favorite part of makeup. What do you guys love to do? Like, what's your favorite part of your makeup application? Mine is seriously concealer and foundation. I just love that part. It makes everything like, I don't know, I guess like that's probably the painter in me, like wanting to just like paint. Alright, I'm going to use a little bit of the Fit Me powder. This one's in the color light medium. This is by Maybelline. It's a really great one. It's pretty light, but it works really well if you use it sparingly. And this one's from e.l.f. It's a really good brush. I'm kind of pushing this in the areas where I know I get oily, which is around my nose. With whatever's left on the cap, I'm just going to do this in the areas where I'm going to put bronzer. And this is going to help so that the products on top of it don't skip. Alright, I'm going to move on to my brows. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm using my NYX pencil in Ash Brown. It's my fave. And then for my lashes, I'm using the Waterproof Voluminous Carbon Black. And I'll be right back. I decided not to put lashes because my lashes are looking really long right now. So I'm going to skip out on them. Okay, yeah, this mascara is just so good. Every once in a while I forget to use it. And I don't know why, because it just always does such a beautiful job on my lashes. And sometimes I'd rather just like not put on lashes, like falsies, because the way I curl my lashes are so bent that when I put lashes on top of it, it just doesn't go. So I kind of just want to leave them. I'm going to just stick to like the same colors I use in my eyes, but I'm just going to go with this color on my lower lash line and then this one even closer on my lower lash line. I always tell women, like, don't be afraid to bring it really low. And I know it's really scary, but it really just makes that smoky effect better. Like if you don't do the smoke in the bottom, it just kind of, I don't know, it just takes away from the smoky eye. Like you bring it down low, that's smoky. Alright, and I forgot to bring my eyeliner, but I've done this before and I wanted to show you guys how I do this. So what I do is I take a light eyeshadow. I'm going to take this one right here. And I take a small little brush. And I literally stamp on my waterline. And it kind of feels a little bit dry under there when you blink, but you'll get used to it. It'll make your eyeliner stay a little bit better if you're stamping this on top of an eyeliner, but it also does such a good job by itself, like without eyeliner underneath it. And it's almost acting as an eyeliner. But if you're having a hard time with your eyeliner sticking on your waterline, I would try to set it with a powder. Like an eyeshadow that's the same color. Now I look super doughy-eyed. Yes. Alright, and I'm going to move on to my face. For my bronzer, I'm going to use my Give Me Sun bronzer from MAC. I haven't used this in a while, and I'm not really sure why. I'm just kind of stuck on my L'Oreal one. I'm actually going to just put this a little bit on my cheeks too, because I don't know, I don't really want to put any blush on today. And if anything, I'm going to put on an orange blush anyway, so I might as well just put the bronzer on my cheeks. Feeling extra matte, which is what the purpose of this look is going to be, but I need some dew. So I'm going to add some liquid illuminator. This is called Born to Glow in the color Pure Gold. This one's from NYX, and just recently I actually went to the mall, the Woodfield Mall, and realized that they have a NYX store, which I did not know. And when I went in there, I noticed that they had these little ones as a mini. I don't think it was this color. I think they had the other color in a mini, but it was pretty cool. So they had a lot of their popular colors in mini sizes, which you honestly only need a mini. So I'm taking that with a sponge. Damn, it looks so pretty. And this color works for me in the summertime more than the winter. It looks so good by itself. Like you don't even need to do anything else after this. But I'm going to set that with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter, and this one's in the color Precious Petals. I really like this one a lot. But look at that. Just gives like that really like, oh, I just love that. But do you see how it makes it a little bit extra? Yeah, just look how beaming that is. I say matte, but really the skin is not going to stay matte. I bought a few and then I returned a couple because I just did not like the colors, but this color was something I don't have in my collection. This is the new L'Oreal Pro Matte liquid lipsticks. They have, I use all the time, their Pro Gloss, their Pro Matte Gloss, which isn't really matte, but it's not really glossy, so and I love them. But this one in particular, their new liquid lipsticks are really, really great. Their textures are super, super long lasting. I've worn this one a ton this month. And this one's in the color Cowboy. It's like a perfect like taupey brown nude tan. It's almost like a burnt orange. Damn it, I love this color so much. Look at that. Alright guys, that completes the final makeup. I hope you guys loved it. I just am feeling this monochromatic for the fall. It totally goes with the vibes and the leaves and the temperature and the kind of, I don't know, just kind of like leaves a little monotone but a little bit of drama. I really hope you guys like this look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys want me to do more fall looks, something a little bit more dramatic, I can totally do that. Also, if you want, you can follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. Both of those are Susie Morales MUA. I'm on there all the time. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.